Hello, everybody. Welcome today to Smart Real Talks. Today's topic is a fun topic, and it's something every one of us, I know we got a lot of messages regarding just this topic, but we're so excited about this, and we brought people that are, same with us in faith so that we can cover this interesting topic. Does God really choose a spouse for us? Anyway, before we delve into the topic, I would love everyone here to introduce himself, tell us a little about yourself in, let's say, about 30 seconds, and we delve into this huge topic. I'm going to start from you, Maliki. I already called your name, but fine, you can still tell us your name. And then we delve deeper into what we have today. Yeah, Maliki.
Okay, good day, everyone. Good day, good morning, good night. Okay, good day, everyone. My name is Malaki. I don't know, I'm living in Japan, so that's it. I'm in Japan.
Awesome. Over to you, Chidima Innocentia.
All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm Innocentia, and I'm a Nigerian in Nigeria.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
Emeka.
Okay. Hey, people. My name is Emeka. I'm a spiritual leader, relationship coach, motivational speaker. I love people. I love meeting people. I love bringing out the best in people. It's gonna be fun tonight.
Absolutely, it's gonna be fun. I love you saying that, Kate.
I'm Kate. I'm here in Florida in America, and I have no idea why I'm here because I love God and I know a lot of the Bible, but I am still learning so much about relationships. I think the older I get, the less I recognize that I actually know.
I love you said that. But anyway, I'm gonna keep my comment for later. Okay, Emeka, I'm sorry, Enoch.
Okay, now, good afternoon, good day, good night. My name is Eno. I based in UK. I'm very glad to be with you people tonight.
Awesome.
Lovely.
So, Prince, you're back. Chizoba, tell us a little about yourself. Tell us your name. You're muted. Tell us your name, and let's delve in. This is a fun topic tonight. You're muted. I think you can check your phone. You're muted. Yeah. Awesome.
Can you hear me now?
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Henry Chizoba. Based in Lagos from Lagos State, Nigeria. I'm a civil engineer by profession. With the grace of God, and I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. We're also happy to have you on here. So now let's delve into this. Like, a lot of people are like, I want the will of God to be done in my life in terms of marriage. I don't know. First of all, I would love us to establish like a foundation. What is marriage? Like, just a quick definition, of what marriage is. You guys, anybody, you can just, maybe I'll shoot at Bro Enoch. You tell us, like, what is marriage in this sense? Because that's what we are talking about. People want to get married, so they want a spouse. So is God the one choosing for you, or yeah? Yeah, Brainock, you tell us. Can you hear me?
Sure.
I mean, tell us. Tell us. What marriage is. What marriage is all about.
Okay, back years when we were in school, we didn't define marriage as marriage is a union of a husband and wife joining together. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. So, Prince, I mean, you tell us. Of course, in school, we all thought about marriage, relationships. So, what is it to you?
Well, to me, to be frank with you, for me, marriage is not just, I don't see marriage as just man and a woman coming together to become husband and wife. I think marriage is more of a consummation of two separate souls coming together to become one in the most spiritual form. I cannot be actually explained or defined. Like Solomon said, he said, nobody can understand the mystery between a man and a virgin. So that shows you that it's not just two people come together is much more than that. It's much more than that because Scripture says that two will chase 10,000. It's much more than just marrying yourself. I don't think it's just marriage. Because that's physical activity, yeah.
Okay, so now from what you're saying is a spiritual thing. Delving into this main topic, I know that a lot of people watching right now. So if you're watching, you can type live. If you're watching live, if you're watching the replay, you can feel free to type replay. So you can type live there. If you have questions, start dropping the questions. I will read them later for these amazing people, to answer. Right now, what does it mean for God to choose a spouse for you? Does God have the right to choose for you a wife? Like, he wants you to marry this person. And this is going to you, Emeka. Like, what is God's plan when he's telling you, hey, I want you to get married to this person? And yeah, if somebody else has a thought, I want to hear that too. So, Emeka?
Okay, thank you, Smile. First of all, from creation, we see God creating man and giving man the best, giving man everything he needs. He said, the garden, everything is there for you to eat as meat, except just one, as we know the story. And also, we see God doing something again in Romans 8:32, where the Bible says, he that spared not his son Jesus, but gave him to us all. That means we also see God is love, and he always wants to express his love to us by giving us the best, giving us the best. Now, to answer your question, basically there are two types of the will of God. There's the written will of God, and there is the one that is not written. For example, if I want to know as a believer, should I fornicate? It's written there in the Bible. I can see that. But the one for whereby, who am I going to get married to? That one is not written. So in that light, we now go back to ask God, does God have a right to choose? Seeing that God has always been interested in the life of man, God has always been interested in our well-being. He said the thoughts he thinks towards us are always of good and of evil, to give us a hope and a future that is an expected end. Yes, I am of the opinion, I believe that God can choose because he wants the best for you.
Okay.
And he will most certainly give you the best.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, building on what you just said right now, God can choose. Sometimes, do you think it's really perfect? I have some examples, and I'm not going to mention them now. Do you think God really, goes ahead to choose the right spouse for you? I want to hear from you, Innocentia. Like, what do you think about God having the right to choose for you? Like, you love somebody. I love this girl, or I love this man. I want to go for this person. Is God not altering maybe your emotions, your right? Tell me about that.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Go ahead.
I think one thing God gave us humans is the power of choice. And now God has the right to choose for us only if we let him. Only if we let him. Now, you can fall in love with someone and say your emotions in place, you love this person, you like this person, this is the person I would love to spend the rest of my life with, according to your emotion. But then when you have to bring God in. When you bring God.
Okay, I think she's temporarily disconnected there. Okay, I will carry it over to Malachi. Maybe you can take it up from there. You're muted. Yes, you can unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you so much, Rosmar. From what he was saying, like he said, God did not make us robots. Like he just have to press us with remotes. So sometimes God created. I know a man is not all spirit and soul.
Where you go ahead of your emotions, and just like I think this person is suitable for me. You understand? And that is where we give God the power to help us. If it's those that really have a relationship with, where it's being tested, because he will be the one to, okay, this person.
God can choose. Sometimes, do you think it's really perfect? I have some
Okay,
examples.
we have a mix up there. There's an echo from your background, Prince. Okay, we have a mix up there. All right, we lost you for a sec. I don't know. We lost you for a sec. So you can go over what you said again, Innocentia, so we can grab your point.
All right. I said that God can choose for us if we give him the power to. All right. You can fall in love with someone, like someone, because most times they're not in control of our emotions as humans. But then when you bring God in, you have to, irrespective of your emotions, you have to bring whoever you feel you want to spend the rest of your life with. You have to bring them to God and inquire if truly they are suitable to walk on that journey with you. This is where we bring God in to help us and make a choice. All right. You really do not have a choice over who you fall in love with or who you get to like. But then I think God has a choice on who you spend the rest of your life. And just as the minister said, he will not allow us to make a mistake. If he sees that this person is not right for you, is not right for the journey, he will tell you, he will let you know. As a loving father, he will let you know. And then depending on your relationship with and your level of yieldedness to him, this is where it's left for you you can decide to go according to his counsel, or you can decide to go according to your own counsel. Whatever his counsel is, he's not imposing it on us. He's not imposing it on us. He's just telling you as a father. So it's left for you to choose.
So what you're saying right now, I just want to be on the same page with you. What you're saying right now is that God has the full right to say this is who you're going to marry and nobody else. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, he has the right.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
now?
Take it in, because this is a real conversation right now, and I need to get this because I don't want to pamper it in any way. I want to get the fact out of this.
Let's shake some tables.
All right,
let's shake some tables. Now, basically, I think let's have a background. Let's have a background. The background is, who is God? What does he want in my life? And why is this man disturbing me? Now, first of all, God is our creator. God is almighty. God knows what we don't know, sees what we don't see. And when the session was talking, a scripture came to mind, a story basically. Do you remember that time when when Samuel went to the house of Jesse to look for the next king? Remember that story? He saw the first person, saw the second person. They got to one. He said, "This guy is the king. This guy is tall. This guy has broad shoulder. This guy, oh no, there cannot be anyone like him." And God said, "Oh, God, shut up. It's not him." God doesn't see as man sees. God sees the heart. So that's why we need to allow God have his way. Because you may see this person, oh, the guy is handsome, the guy is skilled, or the lady is so beautiful. But God is seeing something in the heart that may not manifest immediately, but along the line in the marriage, just shows up and poof. It puts your house under fire. So that's why we need to let God, because of this background. That God knows what you don't know.
I will take this from you right now. I'm going to keep that because I'm coming back with a point you made. So I want to hear from you, Prince, because this is a very crucial matter. I don't want it to have bakes. I want to get your own thoughts on this. Does God really have that right? Like, if you don't do it, it's a sin.
Okay. First of all, like Bro Emeka said that God is God. Okay. I also want to add, God is supreme. God has like the final authority over anything he wants to do. But like Natasha also said, God cannot tamper with our rights. I was reading the scriptures in the book of Jeremiah, and then Jeremiah kept telling them, go to Babylon with the Babylonians. Go there. And when you even go there, you still pray for the peace of that place, because in their prosperity and in their peace, you also find the peace. But Israel refused to do that. Why? Because they already had a background knowledge that God gave them this territory as their land. And moving would mean that they are not obeying what their fathers told them. Okay, so, but at the end of the day, what Jeremiah spoke about them came to exist, it came to pass. What does that say? Humans have the right to make their own choices. God will not impose his choice on you. In selecting a woman to marry or a man to marry, I think we have that liberty to do that. For me, I still maintain the fact that you pick a woman that you like, you think matches your description of a wife. You pray about it, and then you approach her on the matter. If she says yes, you go ahead and marry her. You don't have to God. And tell God,
This is
God,
getting
this
interesting.
is the
I'm going
one
to
that I want to
interrupt
marry.
you there. I'm going to interrupt you there. This is getting interesting. You said something. You said if I see somebody I really like, maybe for example,
Yeah.
just an example, okay? I see a young lady. I'm like, hey, I like her, and I'm gonna take her in my imagination. I'm gonna take her to God and be like, God, this is the person I want, no other person. Is that what you're trying to say? That God has given us the right to do that?
Yeah, exactly what I'm about to say. But then, when God tells the point is to compliment my stand is this: when you take heart to God, and God tells you go ahead, and you get the commission to go ahead, please go ahead. You choose the right. Bible said he that finds the right and is looking and puts from the Lord. And then if God is not, if you're not getting a clear conviction about it, it means that something is wrong somewhere. But however, God will not stop you from making the choice of taking that lady or not taking that lady.
Okay. Before we continue right now, I'm gonna take it over to.
Can I say something?
Yes, I'm coming to that. I will take it over to you, Bro Enoch. But before I do that, we're going to go on a short break. We're going to go on a short break right now. So we'll be right back to continue this conversation. So I want to bless you with a song by one of our brother Nonso and Jacinta. So I want to bless you with that song titled Revive Me. So just listen to that. We'll be right back, okay? Just a sec.
Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord. For you. Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord. For you. Nothing without you. Jesus, Lord, nothing without you. trust in you.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It was fun, and I believe you brought in your questions. Remember, if you're watching live, I want you to type live. If you're watching replay, also type the replay on there. So if you have your questions, drop all of those questions. I want you to put together the question. I'm going to shoot it at these amazing people to answer every of your question. We are not scared of anything. We are hitting it raw at them. So want to hear back from them. Okay, so let's delve back on. Right now, expanding on this spouse thing that God is helping us to choose. What do you have to say about people in the Bible, for example, that God did not choose any spouse for them, but they really lived a very perfect life? Like, what do you have to say? I can mention Joseph, I can mention Moses, that even led the people out of the land of Egypt. Like, what is your thoughts on that? I mean, anybody, what's your thought on that perfect will thing here? Can't I just say, I love this person? Must I have a dream about her? Must I see where we're holding up umbrellas? Stuff like that. I just say, hey, I love you. I think you're cute. You're beautiful. I want to take you home. And that's it. I take her home. So why must I go through that pain of, I need to pray and fast for 3 days? I hear that a lot. So what's your point there? I'm shaking any table possible, but you guys feel free to give me more tables to shake. I'll be happy to shake all of them. So I want to hear from Prince on this, because I see that this really interests you. Yeah, you're still muted there. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay. To be honest, I already said before now, I don't think God wants to select a wife or husband for anybody. Over time, man has always liked to do things the way it suits him or the flesh. But the same scripture says, Proverbs says, by a multitude of events, a dream comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's possible that I can discuss with let me use Chidima as already married because I can't say my dream again. Let's imagine I spend 2 hours, 3 hours talking to Chidima, and somehow our conversation gets so deep, and I feel this deep expression of I feel this kind of connection between the two of us. So that does not make her my wife. Okay, it's just this connection we're having at that time for that discussion. If I base that as the reason why I should get married to this particular lady, definitely when it's time for when I begin to see the things that I didn't anticipate or that I didn't expect, I would think maybe there's a mistake somewhere. But then I think for me, I believe marriage and picking somebody shouldn't be out of I saw her in a dream or she personally, I said like this now. Sorry for my English. The way me I am now. If I want to marry tomorrow, it's not dream that will show me anything.
Come on.
Everybody has no, I'm serious. No, everybody has a way God works with them. That's what I want to go back to now. Everybody has a way God works with them. The way God relates with me is not the way He relates with you. Now, to you, it could be dreams. Personally, He relates to me through scriptures. I can be in a very dire situation right now, and a scripture comes to my head, and it's sorting out my issues at that time. So I'm not going to generalize and say this is how God is going to come to you as a man to get married to this person. Mm-hmm. You know what you're looking for in a wife. We all have these reasonable expectations in a wife we want to spend our lifetime with. Okay?
Yeah.
That should be the basis of what you're looking for. It gives you a pointer to where you're going to. Not just wake up. Like I've seen some in our local church. I've seen some brethren that will just wake up and see that sister. They'll come and call you, bro. And there's this sister in your choir. She is tall. She has good front and small back. Her color is fair and white. Do you know her name? I'll tell her, okay, I know his name. You know, I was saying one pastor came to me one time. He said, I said, yeah, I saw you with walking on the road. Her name is so thing. I said, okay. I said, sir, don't even go there. She's just 14 years old. And he now drew back. No. But ordinarily he would have said it's the will of God for his life. So I think.
Okay, I'm coming
that's
back.
my own take on
I
that.
saved a bullet for you, which I'm gonna hit back at you. I saved 2 bullets for you, so I'm coming back with those bullets. And Mecca, I still saved some for you too, because this must be cleared and trashed, and we're going to take it to be even more scriptural. So I want to hear from you, Mr. Enoch. What do you have to say about this?
Hello, you're blessed. I hope you can hear me very well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Based on what Rebecca said, when I was talking about he asked a question, say, who is God?
Mm-hmm.
He said, God is being, God is that. I was very, very glad on that. In the sense that God knows our destiny. He knows our future. He knows the most important thing God desires from us is the salvation of our soul. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
So God knows where we are going. And the way I understand marriage by God, you say God is choosing our spouse or choosing who will be a right person for us. God is most important. He's important, but based on our life is where we are ending our life. He knows the person that will help you to fulfill your destiny. He knows the person that can help you to reach your destination. And I can say that God will guide you to that person, not choosing that person for you. Let me explain. If you watch the case of Adam, if you watch the case of Adam,
Mm-hmm.
when Adam was sleeping, and then he caused him to sleep and took one of the rib and formed Eve. God didn't say, Adam, you must marry this woman. He told her. When Adam wake up, he saw this person. This is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh. She shall call the woman. So shall a man leave his parent and join with his wife and become one flesh. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the point I want to make is that I have read Bible in my own little knowledge and understanding. I have never seen where God kind of tried to force or choose persons to choose you to marry.
Mm-hmm.
He will guide you. He will guide you. If you have a ministry, for example, now I have a ministry to fill in the line of God. If God presents a lady to you, He's presenting a lady to you. He can say no. If you say no, not marry that person, you can still marry somebody that will not help you to fulfill that ministry. But yet, doesn't mean he may end up not make heaven, because the person God may choose for you in the line of your destiny is the person that will help you to fulfill your destiny and at the same time lead you to heaven, because God is interested in your soul. So why, if we bring God, whether He will choose a spouse or not, that means we are talking about Him guiding you. He will not force you. He will not say you must marry this particular person. In fact, watch the case of Eliezer, the servant of Abraham. Mm-hmm. When he made a prayer, he said, God, if you can make my way to be success and find a place find a damsel for my master's servant, and I've forgotten the way he made it. But the Bible says He said, whosoever, listen, the whosoever that we feed, help me to fetch water from this well and give my animal, so shall it be my wife. Now what happened? When Rebecca came, if you watch the story now, you discover that God know the life of Rebecca. He suggested that woman to this chief servant of Abraham. He didn't suggest.
Okay.
What I understand in this case of choosing is God will guide. He will guide you. Whosoever you will guide you to the person you will marry, not to choose to you.
Okay.
Who you marry.
Okay.
Yes.
Point that God guides you to the person you're going to marry. I believe you have something to say about this, Kate. I believe you have something to share on here.
Yeah, I do. I think that there's a couple of things that we're working with. Faith is part of it. And I think we're all people of faith and we want to do what God has for us. Mm-hmm. I think there's also a problem with confirmation bias that's got a couple of other names. But it's kind of one of those things like you find somebody attractive and so you go to God for prayer, and then all that you're going to see, if you have a dream about that person, that doesn't necessarily mean it's from God, because you may dream about somebody you find is really good looking,
Absolutely.
So I think, we'll read the scriptures and we'll have something pop up with the scriptures and go, oh, you know what? It looks kind of like his name. It must be a sign from God. So when we have feelings for somebody, we automatically tend to see signs that say this is a good thing. So we have to be really careful about that too, because our brain wants to confirm what we already have in our heart. So I think the best thing we can do is just have a heart that's, number one, devoted to God, and not try and look for somebody to fulfill that emptiness that we might feel, because looking for somebody to complete us, because Jesus Christ is the person who completes us. And when we try and fill that void with a person or a relationship, that's in a sense idolatry. In fact, I've heard the term relational idolatry, and it's where somebody becomes more important than God, or a relationship becomes more important than God. I did have a couple of times in the Bible where I know that God sent somebody. Rebecca was an answer. You were just mentioning that. Rebecca was an answer to Abraham's servant's prayer of searching for a wife for Isaac. I think it's also interesting, I'm not sure how this works out, but Jacob worked 7 years for Rachel, but after the marriage, he found out he was married to Leah. That's got to be funny, right?
Absolutely.
But then Leah was in the line of Christ, so that was God's will, even though Jacob didn't want it.
Okay.
And then the other thing too is Hosea was told to marry a harlot. He was told to marry somebody that was very difficult for him. And was that God's will? Yes. I can't imagine that was really painful for him, but it was God's will. And then Jeremiah was told not to marry. So those are some of the things that I can come up with in the verse and then the scripture, but God has never told me that this person is for me or not for me.
Okay.
So that's my personal experience. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay, awesome. Let me, before I come over to you, Malachi, it seems you have something to say, right? But before I come over, Prince said something really striking to me. He said, God relates to us differently. He said God relates to us differently. So that means for each person, God is going to guide you. Coming to Brother Enoch's word, God is going to guide you to that person that he wants you to marry. So it's left for you to say yes to that or no to that. Is that right? Okay, awesome. This is coming together. Yes. This is coming together now. Let me hear what you have to say, Bro Malachi.
Okay, thank you so much for smile. I've been enjoying the speech of everyone. Let me just be quick. From what Prince said, God doesn't work this. God is a God of pattern, but always not work in the same way with everyone. And like I said before, first way one can choose, or God can choose spouse, is through revelation. God, I have seen some cases, because you have to be a bit practical. Sometimes not just be talking about Bible is good, but sometimes you have seen what have happened, and let's be practical. Okay. I have seen some people, God showed them revelation that Sister A is going to be your wife. Even when they don't have anything, emotional attachments, they don't have love for Mr. A, but because you want to obey God and fulfill God's way for you, they have to try and pray for them to love Sister A and all that, and at the end they married, and the marriage worked out. Yeah, God can choose in that through revelation, through your spirit, and so on. But at the same time, you are human beings. Sometimes as a student, maybe you're in school, I'm studying here, you can see someone that you love, you understand, there's compatibility, everything is working out, but God have not said anything. No dream, no revelation, no anything, no anything. But you love this person, and you know that this person you can fulfill your ministry with him or her. Then what you have to do is to take the sister to God and say, God, is this sister my wife? That now you choose, not God choosing. Is this sister my wife? And then I'll talk about something. So when God says yes, just be careful to obey God. His importance here is obedience. Obedience is very important. There's always a reward for obedience. When God shows you, everybody know how God talks to you. Maybe your spirit, through revelation, through man of God. God can say, okay, Sister A is your wife, or any Sister A is your wife. Then you can go ahead and marry Sister A. This time, God did not choose for you. You chose, and then take her to God for confirmation. And then, but there's a small disadvantage in this case, because sometimes because of human being, you'll be emotionally attached to the person. And even if you pray, you still see a good response. You still see yes, even when God is saying no. Because when you love this person, your mind is there. So this what you do in this case is to, if you cannot do it alone, that's why we have spiritual fathers, spiritual mentors, pastors, that's your father. You take the person to pastor, look at this sister. I want to marry, but I'm praying, I'm not seeing anything. Maybe because of your attachment to her. Because if you have idea in your heart, but basically, if you pray, you still see the same thing in your heart because your mind, you are a human being. So the pastor can now say, okay, let me pray for you, your man, a mentor or father, and you can pray for you. You can now tell you, I look at what I saw, I look at what I sensed, look at what I feel. Then you can go ahead. And I've seen other cases like the Henry said, recommendation is also there. People can recommend people to you, and it also worked. I've recommended people to people. Some of my friends, one in Japan, one in so many places, they are in abroad.
I think that's pretty dangerous for you to do. I think so,
yeah.
right?
Look, see, let me tell you how I did it.
Because that's a big role. They're coming back for you. If it doesn't work out, they're coming back.
See, I'm still coming. Just keep quiet.
All right,
I'm coming.
I'm quiet.
So they say they want to marry a Nigerian, and they don't see, there's no Nigeria where they're staying. So in this case now, what we do, it's worked and it's working. You have to look at, because as a coordinator or maybe a coordinator of a youth, you have to write, you don't have to show picture. Write the names of sisters, pray with these names. It worked. I'm talking about practical now. Pray with these names and then let God direct you. And sometimes they will, after praying and say that God is directing me to Sister X. And then we continue with Sister X. We take the party to the pastor, we pray. And you find out that at the end, God confirmed it. And God said, yes, Sister S is your wife. And they married. And it's also, and it's successful. And it's still being successful. So God is not a God of one-way thing.
Okay.
It's not how God works with me. It's how God is going to work with this person, this person. The major thing is that God is the major factor. Everything, you take it to God. God says yes, you go. Said no, you draw.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna take the mic off you right now. I'll give it over to Bro Enoch because I have something to say, but I'll let him say what he has to say if I dip in.
Okay. So the little thing I wanted to say is based on what our brother was saying. He's right, but there are some marriage. When you hear the story of the testimony of the couple, the way they saw themselves. If you watch some of the televisions, I hope you people may have come across of some of those couples where they interview them, telling them that by now that by the grace of God, I have been in marriage for 5 years. I saw my wife. I was carrying an umbrella. This thing happened. But before the next thing we hear after 5 years, they have divorce. But they say that God is the one that showed them.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Is it not God? I want to understand that area. That was why I said I don't think that God will allow what happened the day of Adam to happen. Because when God was blaming Adam, say, why did you eat fruit? Adam was referring to the wife he gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am seeing it in a way that if you watch it, you discover that God, for now, on my own understanding, he will, based on the way he's leading you, he will just suggest a lady that will help you, if you're a man, that will help you to that destination. Now, what he will do is you can choose, you can like it, it's okay by myself, okay, I like her, I will marry her. And you will see yourself fulfilling, because God will know your destination, know where you are going. But if you say no, I can't marry her, you can still marry another person and still fulfill your destiny, but yet you may not achieve what God wants you to achieve. Do you understand what I'm explaining?
Absolutely.
Now,
you're making your point.
Now, so I don't think whether God would like anybody to blame him. Say, okay, I give you wife, then after 5 years we have the divorce. Does it mean that God does not take responsibility to take care of that marriage till the end, for maybe 40 years or 30 years in marriage?
Okay.
So that's why I'm sorry, I'm cutting off now. So that's why I'm saying, let's know when we say is God choosing. If God chooses, that means God is taking responsibility from the beginning. He will not allow anything to happen, no quarrel, no problem. He will guide it. He will protect you for the period of time in that marriage so that you don't have problem.
Okay, awesome.
So when we are saying God show you choosing me, maybe as we're talking now, we say God is the one that showed me my wife. You'll be very, very careful on that. So that if anything happens, you will not blame God. You understand?
Okay. Okay. Now, before I let you jump in, Emeka and Prince. Sanji, I'm coming back at you, all right? But before I delve back in, there's something that makes people, okay, fine. Some people say, I've seen you in my dream, you're my wife. And the woman all of a sudden is saying, no, I am not interested. God is saying, you're the one, woman. The woman say, no, I don't like you, right? So like in such cases, I realize from research and experience and conversation and reality that what is actually causing this is they feel this man doesn't have enough. Like he doesn't have his own house, he doesn't have money, so he's not well to do. And that's part of the thing making them to say this is not the will of God, right? I'm telling you something right now. Yeah, I'm coming to you, Kate. I'm coming there, right? That's what's making them say that. And anyway, just to say a big shout out to Chioma over there. Okay, that's Mariko, and like hi to everybody over there. Precious, okay? So they said you guys are really shaking the table. I'm just giving a feedback. But here's the thing. If there's a condition and it's God's will, what are you going to do? I want to hear what you have. I'm still coming back to you, Emeka and Prince. Please bear with me. So what do you have to say on that? Kate, yeah, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I have twice had guys come up to me and tell me it was God's will for them to marry me. Mm-hmm. And I know they were just making it up. I know they were not in prayer. These were not godly men. And they knew that I was a godly woman. And so they're trying to manipulate it into, oh, you're supposed to marry me. No, sir. God didn't tell me that. And so there's like this clear disconnect. So I'm super sensitive to that sort of thing. And this was not God's will.
Okay. Thank you. Emeka.
Just still on the subject matter, or should I talk?
Yeah, you can point out what you want to, then we jump right on this.
Okay, I wanted to talk about what Brother Enoch said. He said something that people believe, okay, if this is God, God will take care of everything. Do you know there's people that believe that if it's the perfect will of God, then there should be no problem, everything should just be smooth, everything should just be okay, the marriage should be going well. No, but that's not true. That's a very fallacious thinking, because even if it's the perfect will of God, you still have to commit to the marriage. You still have to communicate in the marriage. Mm-hmm. You still have to play your own part as man, to love your wife, to respect your husband. God will not do that for you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that.
So thinking of God, because it's what I believe, that it's not complete to say God will take care of the marriage. Yes, God will grant the grace. You must take advantage of it and make it work.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Harry. Yeah, I want to hear you. I believe that's bomb.
Well, like I was thinking the house would be a little bit on the divide. Like people have a debate, kind of God chosen and God God chosen and God not chosen and all that. But it's still good. We are all almost on the same table. But then I, for one, still strongly believe that even if God chooses for you or you choose for yourself, these are two distinct human beings coming together to get married. So personal background, her lifestyle before marriage, your lifestyle before marriage, all these things will always play out in your union as a man and as a woman. But then there's a central theme to why God created the both of you. I'll take my parents for an example. Now, this is like the funniest thing I've ever heard from them. My dad met my mom on a Monday. On a Tuesday, there was a meeting. On a Wednesday, there was a marriage, and that was it. Now, I want to say that is the will of God or the will of man. Because if you say it's not the will of God, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm talking to everybody I'm talking to the whole world right now. If there was no them, there wouldn't have been a me. Okay? So you see, we can't really put a pin on this and say this is actually this is will of God or will of man. Or I think that everything, as far as we all know, God is supreme. He knows the end from the beginning. He knows the beginning from the end. He has been from the foundation of the world. And before we were born, he has already made us what we were supposed to be. But the thing, like Bro Enoch said, fulfilling destiny and purpose. You can still fulfill destiny and purpose, but not exactly what God wants for you to do. You are looking at that perfect thing. There's no perfect marriage. If anybody is going to marriage with the intentions of maybe he does not have money, he has money. The money that he or she or he has at that time, won't it finish? When people got married as very big men and big women, the men somehow was a business problem and the business collapsed and the financial burden was much on the man, and then they almost divorced. Now, that brings me to one point I want to make now. If for any reason somebody is getting married to anybody, I don't consider myself a relationship coach or anything. If for any reason anybody wants to get married, is if you're getting married and your reason is attached to something in that person, if that person stops to exhibit that particular thing, trust me, your love for that person will die.
Absolutely.
Immediately. So like Brian has always been saying, the central theme is destiny. I meet this sister, I like her, I discuss with her, and her plans and my plans are relatable, and they are pursuing a particular target. I'm getting married to that sister. And the brother is praying, and then he has a list of 25 sisters, and he's praying, and then God says, take number 10. And number 10 talks to number 10, and number 10 happens to have what he wants. Fine, good. Just make sure that there's no attachments to a thing.
Okay.
So that when the marriage has any small issue or another issue, you will not be saying, I'm married because of money or this. No. I don't think that's marriage.
Okay, as we begin to wrap up right now, as we begin to wrap this up now, you see, what you said right now is a simple statement, but it's so big of a point. Like, it's a big point right now, because a lot of people will be like, you mean they should go ahead to just get married to somebody that has no job, has nothing to do, the person is completely empty? Are you saying that the person should just, delve in? Like, they have children to raise, right? So notwithstanding, we're going to put this part together and come back to talk about this, because that's part of the factors affecting people getting married to even whom God is suggesting to them. You get, like, God is suggesting, get married to this woman. They're like, nah, I don't like her. She this is a weird one, but she has a pimple on her face. I don't know. Or she can't cook. Yeah, that one is really popular. She can't cook, or how am I going to know if she's, like, this is the weird part, if she's good on bed. Like, I hear that, I'm like, really? How are you going to test that? How do you want to ascertain that? right? So all of these things is affecting people getting married to the proper or the right person, right? So we're going to be wrapping it up right here. I know you guys still have bomb to throw. Cynthia has loaded her gun. I'm sure of that. Okay. So, but what I want to do right now is to take questions from our listeners, and then we'll wrap it up. It's almost an hour right now. So I want to take all of those amazing questions that you guys have. Please drop your questions in here, and we'll be happy to answer that. But before I see any question to read out, okay. before I see any questions, right now I want to know from you, for people that have these thoughts. I'm gonna hear this from Innocentia. For people that have this thought of they don't care about the will of God, what's your final thoughts on this? What's your final advice to them on this matter? You're muted. Yeah. Okay.
My final advice is this: just like there was a point that was made. When you marry wrongly, we have to look at, most times we are talking about choosing in the kingdom perspective now, because I've seen practical of people that chose for themselves, unbelievers, that their marriages are working, and they don't have this notion of God choosing for me, but then they have something that is working for them. Okay. So you have to understand first that when God guides you to someone, like Bro Enoch said, and your ability to say yes, to accept whoever God is guiding you to is dependent on your level of relationship with Him, how yielded you are to Him, and how willing you are to obey.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
God can tell you, can guide you to a particular sister, a particular brother, and at the end of the day, normally with a natural human mind, you do not like the person. It's okay. That does not mean you would go to hell or you will miss it. The only thing is that it will take you twice as much to fulfill your destiny. Yeah, you can still fulfill destiny even when you get it wrong, but it will take you twice or thrice what was supposed to be easy for you. You see, this is, with everything we've been saying, all boils down to the main thing, which is as long as we are, our emotions, if we can involve our emotions or we cannot involve our emotions, but it all boils down to one thing, which is listening to what He has to say, whether He's choosing for you, whether you are choosing for yourself, you have someone in mind already and you are bringing to Him for confirmation. If He says yes, or if He says no, because it does, most times we can bring someone to God and He says, no, this is not my will for you, but you already have something for the person. So your ability to accept the response of God depends on your relationship with Him.
Thank you.
So
there.
it's just, if you have a very good relationship with
Yeah,
God, it's easy for you. That's it.
Yeah, the
That's it.
relationship here with God is what really matters. We really need to wrap it up here, but I know questions will be popping in, so you guys can still have the time. Go in there. We're still coming back. Yes, we are coming back. I'm bringing these and more people to you guys, and they're going to educate you more on this matter. This is not a one-day topic, because this is really necessary, because it affects your entirety, your future, your children. It affects your generation. If you make one wrong decision, it changes everything. So for now, we're going to be saying a big goodbye to everybody watching. We are still coming back again. Some other time we'll drop the announcement. So just keep your eyes peeled, and thank you for joining in. We really appreciate it. Make sure to have a great day. But for now, go ahead to enjoy this music by Nonso again. God bless you. Bye. Good night. Bye.
Battle is not for the strong, it's not for the swift. It's by your grace, oh God. Look at my life without meaning. This is all my pain. Look at my life in the shadows. Look at my life like a mirage. Things are going straight. Please help me, Lord, my God. Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord, for you. Hey, revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord. Revive me, Lord, for you. Nothing without you. We will trust in you, God. We will trust in you, God. We will trust in you, God. We trust in